She sent the text to the wrong number, a plea for touch, for love, for rescue from a dying marriage. But the man who received it wasn't her husband. He was Choi Tae-hyun, Seoul's most feared mafia boss, and her words awakened something dark and possessive inside him. When he replied, everything shattered. Her marriage crumbled. Danger closed in. And he decided she was his to protect, his to claim, his to keep, no matter the cost. Welcome to Afro-Korean Stories TV, besties. I took my time to make sure I give you an amazing story today, and as usual, it's unique, and there's always something to learn. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The rain hammered against the window of the cramped apartment in Itaewon as Adana Okafor sat curled on the couch, tears streaming down her face. Her phone trembled in her hands. 3 years of marriage, and Marcus barely looked at her anymore. He worked late every night, came home smelling of perfume that wasn't hers, and slept with his, back turned. She was starving, not for food, but for touch, for intimacy, for the man she married to see her again. Her fingers moved across the screen, typing words she'd held inside for months. I need your touch. I'm dying without you. Please come home. Please see me. She hit send. The message delivered. Adana closed her eyes, hoping tonight would be different. But Marcus's contact photo wasn't the last one she'd messaged. She'd been texting her sister earlier, and the number just above Marcus's belonged to a wrong number she'd accidentally saved weeks ago after a misdialed call. She didn't realize her mistake. Not yet. Across the city, in a glass-walled penthouse overlooking the Han River, Choi Tae-hyun stood in the darkness, a glass of whiskey in his hand. Blood stained his knuckles from the interrogation he'd just finished. He was Seoul's Shadow King, head of the Choi Syndicate, a man whose name made politicians and criminals alike tremble. He had no softness left, or so he thought. His phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, expecting a report from his men. Instead, he saw a message from an unknown number. I need your touch. I'm dying without you. Please come home. Please see me. Tae-hyun stared at the words. Something twisted in his chest, something he hadn't felt in years. Vulnerability, longing, desperation. He didn't know who sent it, but the rawness in those words reached through the screen and gripped him by the throat. He typed back without thinking. Who is this? Adana's phone buzzed. She opened the message, frowning. That wasn't how Marcus texted. He used emojis, casual grammar. This was formal, cold. Her heart sank. She checked the contact name. Unknown. Wrong number. Her stomach dropped. Oh God, she whispered. She'd sent her most vulnerable confession to a stranger. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. I'm so sorry. Wrong number. Please delete that. The reply came immediately. No. Adana froze. What do you mean, no? I mean I'm not deleting it. Tell me who made you feel this way. Her breath caught. The audacity. The command in those words. That's none of your business. You made it my business when you sent me your heart. Tears blurred her vision. She should block him. She should throw her phone across the room. Instead, she typed, My husband. The reply took longer this time. Then he's a fool. Adana didn't respond. She turned off her phone and cried herself to sleep on the couch. Marcus came home at 2 in the morning, reeking of alcohol and someone else's perfume. He didn't even glance at her as he stumbled into the bedroom. The next morning, Adana woke to an empty apartment. Marcus had already left for work. No note, no text, nothing. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at her phone. Against every instinct, she opened the message thread with the stranger. Why did you say that? She typed. The reply came within seconds. Because it's the truth. A woman like you should be worshipped, not ignored. Her heart pounded. You don't even know me. Then let me. She should have blocked him then. She should have stopped. But loneliness was a brutal thing. What's your name? She asked. Tae-hyun. Yours? Adana. Beautiful name for a beautiful soul. She laughed bitterly. You can't know that from a text. I know desperation when I see it. I know loneliness. And I know you deserve better than a man who makes you beg for his touch. Adana closed her eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks. I have to go, she typed. I'll be here when you come back. She didn't text him for 3 days. But Tae-hyun was patient. He had his people trace the number. Within hours, he knew everything. Adana Okafor, 28, Nigerian, married to Marcus Okafor, a marketing consultant with a growing reputation for infidelity. She worked part-time at a cafe in Itaewon, studied Korean at night, and lived in a neighborhood Tae-hyun's men controlled. He told himself he was just curious. But when he saw her photo, curvy, radiant, with eyes that held both strength and sorrow, something shifted inside him. He wanted to meet her. No, he needed to. Adana's phone buzzed on the 4th day. Have you eaten today? She stared at the message from Tae-hyun. Why do you care? Answer the question, she sighed. Not yet. What do you like? Why? Answer. Jollof rice, fried plantains, but I can't find good ones here. Address? What? No. Adana. The way he said her name, even through text, made her shiver. Against her better judgment, she sent him the cafe's address. 30 minutes later, a black car pulled up outside. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, carrying a large bag from a high-end African restaurant she'd never been able to afford. He walked into the cafe, looked directly at her, and set the bag on her table. Compliments of Choi Tae-hyun, he said, then left. Adana stared at the food, her hands shaking. She texted him immediately. How did you eat? This is insane. Eat, Adana. Then we'll talk. She wanted to refuse, but the jollof rice smelled like home, and she was so tired of being hungry in every possible way. She ate, and for the first time in months, she felt seen. That evening, Marcus came home earlier than usual. He found Adana washing dishes, and for a moment, she thought he might actually speak to her. Instead, he said, I'm leaving for a business trip tomorrow. I'll be gone for a week. Her heart cracked. Where? Busan. With who? His jaw tightened. Colleagues. She knew it was a lie. Marcus. Don't start, Adana. I'm tired. He walked into the bedroom and closed the door. Adana stood in. The kitchen. Tears streaming down her face. Her phone buzzed. Are you okay? It was Tae-hyun. No, she typed before she could stop herself. Tell me where you are. Home. Alone? Might as well be. I'm coming. No, you can't. Watch me. 20 minutes later, her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered, her voice shaking. Hello? Come downstairs. His voice was deep, smooth, dangerous. I can't. Adana. The way he said her name made her knees weak. Come downstairs. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. She shouldn't. She knew she shouldn't. But she grabbed her jacket and slipped out of the apartment. The night air was cold. Adana wrapped her arms around herself as she stepped onto the street. A black sedan idled at the curb. The back door opened, and Choi Tae-hyun stepped out. He was taller than she'd imagined, broad-shouldered, with sharp features, and eyes that seemed to see straight through her. He wore all black, expensive, tailored, dangerous. He looked at her like she was the only person in the world. Adana, he said softly. She couldn't speak. He took a step closer. You're trembling. I shouldn't be here. But you are. This is crazy. I know. He reached out, his fingers brushing her cheek. But I had to see you. Her breath hitched. Why? Because from the moment you sent me that text, I couldn't stop thinking about you. You don't even know me. Then let me learn. She should have walked away. Instead, she whispered, 5 minutes. He smiled, a small, devastating thing. 5 minutes, he agreed. But they both knew it was a lie. They walked to a nearby park, the city lights glittering around them. Tae-hyun kept his distance, but his presence was overwhelming. Tell me about him, he said quietly. Who? The man who broke you. Adana's chest tightened. I don't want to talk about Marcus. Then tell me about you. She hesitated, then began to speak. She told him about moving to Seoul 3 years ago, about the dreams she'd had, the loneliness she felt, the slow death of her marriage. Tae-hyun listened without interrupting. When she finished, he said, You deserve better. You keep saying that, because it's true. You don't know what I deserve. Yes, I do. He stopped walking and turned to face her. You deserve someone who sees you, who worships you, who would burn the world down before letting you cry alone. Her heart pounded. And you think you're that person. I know I am. You're insane. Maybe. He stepped closer. But I'm also the only one who's here. She wanted to argue, but he was right. They talked until midnight. Tae-hyun didn't touch her beyond that first brush of his fingers, but the air between them crackled with something dangerous and undeniable. When he finally drove her home, he walked her to her door. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For seeing me. His jaw tightened. Adana. Yes, this isn't over. It has to be. I'm married. To a man who doesn't deserve you. It's still a marriage. Then end it. She stared at him, shocked. I can't just... You can. He cupped her face, his thumb brushing her cheek. And when you do, I'll be waiting. Before she could respond, he turned and walked away. Adana stood in the doorway, her heart racing, her world tilting. She didn't know it yet, but her life had just changed forever. The next morning, Marcus left for Busan without saying goodbye. Adana stood in the empty apartment, feeling more alone than ever. Her phone buzzed. Good morning, beautiful. Have you eaten? It was Tae-hyun. She smiled despite herself. Not yet. I'll fix that. An hour later, breakfast arrived. Warm, delicious, thoughtful. And for the first time in years, Adana felt cared for. Over the next week, Tae-hyun texted her every day. He never pushed, never demanded. He just showed up. With food, with kindness, with attention that made her feel alive. He sent her flowers at the cafe. He paid off her overdue rent without asking. He learned her favorite things and made them appear like magic. Adana tried to resist, but loneliness and his relentless devotion were a dangerous combination. Why are you doing this? She asked one night over the phone. Because you're mine, he said simply. I'm not yours. I'm married. Not for long. Tae-hyun. He's cheating on you, Adana. You know it. I know it. End it. Tears filled her eyes. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. Leave him. Come to me. I barely know you. Then get to know me. But don't stay with a man who doesn't love you. She wanted to argue, but she couldn't, because he was right. Marcus returned from Busan with lipstick on his collar and lies on his lips. Adana confronted him. He denied everything. They fought, screaming, crying, breaking. And when Marcus finally admitted the truth, Adana's world collapsed. I don't love you anymore, he said coldly. I haven't for a long time. She stood there, numb. Then why didn't you just leave? Because it was convenient. The cruelty of those words shattered her. She packed a bag and walked out. She had nowhere to go, except to the one person who'd promised to be there. She texted Tae-hyun. I left him. The reply was immediate. "Where are you?" "I don't know." "Send me your location. I'm coming." Tae-hyun found her sitting on a bench in the rain, soaked and shaking. He pulled off his coat and wrapped it around her. "Come with me," he said gently. She looked up at him, tears mixing with rain. "I have nowhere to go." "You have me. I barely know you. Then stay and learn." She should have said no, but she was tired of being strong. She let him lead her to his car, and when they arrived at his penthouse, Adana stepped into a world she didn't recognize. Luxury, safety, him. "You'll stay here," Tae-hyun said, "as long as you need." "I can't." "You can." He cupped her face. "You're safe now, Adana. I promise." And for the first time in years, she believed someone. The first night in Tae-hyun's penthouse, Adana couldn't sleep. She wandered through the massive space, overwhelmed by the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, the minimalist luxury, the silence that wasn't lonely. She found Tae-hyun in his office, working despite the late hour. "Can't sleep?" he asked without looking up. "It's too quiet." He set down his pen. "Come here." She hesitated, then crossed the room. He pulled her onto his lap, wrapping his arms around her. "Better?" he murmured against her hair. She melted into him. "Yes." "Then stay." And she did. They sat like that for hours. Him working one-handed, her drifting in and out of sleep, both of them pretending this was normal. But nothing about them was normal. By the end of the week, Adana had settled into a strange new routine. Tae-hyun left early for business she didn't ask about. She spent her days at the cafe, her nights in his penthouse. He never pushed for more. But the tension between them grew unbearable. One evening, she found him in the kitchen, cooking. "You cook?" she asked, surprised. "When I want to." He glanced at her. "Sit." She obeyed, watching as he moved with surprising grace. "Why are you being so nice to me?" she asked quietly. "Because you deserve it." "You keep saying that." "Because it's true." He plated the food and set it in front of her. "Eat." She took a bite, and her eyes widened. "This is amazing." He smiled, a rare, genuine thing. "Good." They ate in comfortable silence. Then, Tae-hyun said, "I need to tell you something." Her stomach tightened. "What?" "I'm not a good man, Adana." "I know." He looked surprised. "You do?" "I'm not stupid. I know who you are." "And you're still here?" "I'm still here." His jaw tightened. "Why?" "Because you see me." She met his gaze. "Because when I'm with you, I don't feel invisible." Something dark and possessive flashed in his eyes. "You'll never be invisible to me," he said roughly. "Never." And then he kissed her. The kiss was slow, deliberate, consuming. Tae-hyun cupped her face like she was precious, like she might break, like she was the only thing that mattered. Adana melted into him, her hands fisting in his shirt. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing hard. "I shouldn't have done that," Tae-hyun said hoarsely. "Why?" "Because now I won't be able to stop." "Then don't." His eyes darkened. "Adana, I'm not asking for promises. I'm just asking for tonight. You deserve more than one night. Maybe. But right now, I just need you." He searched her face, then stood, pulling her with him. "If we do this," he said quietly, "there's no going back. You'll be mine. I'm already yours." That was all the permission he needed. Later that night, Adana lay wrapped in Tae-hyun's arms, her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. She'd never felt more alive, or more terrified, because she knew, she absolutely knew, that this man would ruin her for anyone else. "What are you thinking?" he murmured, his fingers tracing patterns on her bare shoulder. "That I'm in trouble." "Why?" "Because I'm falling for you." He tilted her face up. Good. Good. Because I've already fallen. Her heart stuttered. Taehyun. I mean it, Adana. You're mine now. And I don't share. She should have been scared by the possessiveness in his voice. Instead, she felt cherished. What if I hurt you? She whispered. You won't. How do you know? Because I won't let you go long enough to try. The next morning, Adana woke alone. Panic seized her. Had he regretted it? Had he left? Then she smelled coffee. She found Taehyun in the kitchen, dressed in slacks and a crisp white shirt, looking every inch the dangerous man he was. Morning, he said, handing her a mug. Hi, she whispered, suddenly shy. He smiled and pulled her close. Don't do that. Do what? Act like last night didn't happen, or like you regret it. I don't regret it. Good, he kissed her forehead, because I'm not letting you go. What if I want to leave? His jaw tightened. Then I'll spend every day convincing you to stay. But their fragile peace shattered that afternoon. Marcus showed up at the cafe. Adana froze when she saw him walk through the door, his face twisted with anger. We need to talk, he demanded. I have nothing to say to you. You walked out on our marriage. You destroyed our marriage. I made a mistake. Multiple mistakes. With multiple women. His face reddened. I want you to come home. No, Adana. I said no. He grabbed her arm. You're my wife. Let go of me. Not until you listen. A hand clamped down on Marcus's wrist, squeezing until he yelped. She said, let go. Taehyun had appeared out of nowhere, his expression murderous. Marcus paled. Who the hell are you? Someone who knows how to treat her properly. Taehyun twisted Marcus's arm, forcing him to release Adana. Touch her again, and I'll break every bone in your hand. You're threatening me. I'm promising you. Marcus looked between them, realization dawning. Taehyun's fist connected with Marcus's jaw before Adana could blink. Marcus hit the ground hard. Watch your mouth, Taehyun said coldly, or I'll remove your tongue. After Marcus fled, Taehyun turned to Adana. Are you okay? She nodded, shaking. Did he hurt you? No. You stopped him. His jaw clenched. I should have done worse. Taehyun, if he comes near you again, tell me immediately. He won't. You don't know that. Then what do you want me to do? Stay with me. Let me protect you. I can't hide forever. You're not hiding. You're choosing safety. He pulled her into his arms. Choose me, Adana. Fully. She looked up at him, seeing the raw need in his eyes. Okay, she whispered. Okay? I choose you. His kiss was fierce, claiming, absolute. And Adana surrendered completely. But Marcus wasn't done. Over the following days, he sent threatening texts, showed up at her work, spread rumors about her relationship with Taehyun. Taehyun wanted to end it permanently. Let me handle him, he said one night. How? You don't want to. No. Taehyun. He's making your life hell. Let me stop him. I don't want you to hurt him. Even after everything he's done. I don't want you to become a monster because of me. His expression softened. I'm already a monster, Adana. The only difference is whether I use it to protect you. She cupped his face. Promise me you won't kill him. I promise. And you'll be careful? Always. She didn't know if she believed him, but she trusted him anyway. The next day, Marcus received a visit from 3 of Taehyun's men. They had a conversation. Quiet. Civil. Utterly terrifying. When they left, Marcus understood very clearly that if he ever contacted Adana again, he wouldn't live long enough to regret it. He filed for divorce the next morning. When Adana received the divorce papers, she cried, not from sadness, but from relief. Taehyun held her through it all. It's over, he murmured. You're free. I don't feel free. I feel lost. Then let me be your anchor. She looked up at him. For how long? Forever, if you'll let me. That's a long time. Not long enough. A few days later, Tae-hyun took Adana to his private office in Gangnam. She'd never seen this side of his world, the nerve center of his empire, where men in expensive suits moved with deadly precision, and everyone addressed him as boss with reverence and fear. She sat across from his desk, watching him work. "You're staring," he said without looking up. "You're different here." "How so?" "Colder, harder." He set down his pen and met her gaze. "Does it scare you?" "No." "It should?" "Why? You'd never hurt me." Something vulnerable flashed in his eyes. "No, I wouldn't. But others might try to use you to hurt me." Her stomach tightened. "What do you mean?" "My enemies will see you as a weakness. Then maybe I shouldn't be here. Too late." He stood and rounded the desk, pulling her to her feet. "You're already mine. They already know, and I'll kill anyone who touches you." "Ta-hyun." "I mean it, Adana. You're not just some woman I'm protecting. You're everything." Her breath caught. "You can't mean that. I've never meant anything more." He kissed her then, deep, possessive, absolute. And Adana realized she was in far deeper than she'd ever intended. That evening, they attended a charity gala. Tae-hyun needed to make an appearance, and he refused to leave her behind. "Wear this," he said, presenting her with a dress box. Inside was the most beautiful gown she'd ever seen, midnight blue silk that hugged every curve. "I can't accept this." "You already have." He traced her jawline. "Wear it for me." She couldn't refuse him. When she emerged from the bedroom, Tae-hyun went completely still. "Beautiful," he breathed. "You're stunning." She blushed. "It's just a dress." "It's not the dress." He crossed to her, his hand settling on her waist. "It's you. You'd be breathtaking in anything." "Stop." "Never." He kissed her softly. "Get used to it, Adana. I'm going to spend the rest of my life reminding you how extraordinary you are." The gala was overwhelming. Politicians, business moguls, and people whose faces she recognized from news reports mingled beneath crystal chandeliers. Tae-hyun kept her close, his hand never leaving the small of her back. "Stay beside me," he murmured. "I wasn't planning on wandering." "Good." His jaw tightened. Some of these men have no honor. As if summoned by his words, a man in a tailored suit approached. "Choi Tae-hyun," he said smoothly. "I heard rumors you'd taken a wife, but I had to see for myself." "She's not my wife," Tae-hyun said coldly. "Yet." The man's eyes slid to Adana, lingering too long on her curves. "Extraordinary. Where did you find such a beauty?" "That's none of your concern. Surely you don't mind sharing." "I mind everything when it comes to her." Tae-hyun's voice dropped dangerously. "Look at her like that again, and I'll remove your eyes." The man paled and retreated. Adana touched Tae-hyun's arm. "Was that necessary?" "Yes." He was just talking. He was undressing you with his eyes. His hand tightened on her waist. "No one looks at you like that but me." She should have been annoyed by his possessiveness. Instead, she felt claimed, protected, cherished. "Dance with me," he said suddenly. "I don't know how to dance to this music. I'll teach you." He led her onto the dance floor, pulling her close as a waltz began. "Follow my lead," he murmured against her ear. She did, and within moments, they were moving as one. "You lied," he said softly. "About what?" "Not knowing how to dance. You're perfect. You make me feel perfect." His eyes darkened. "You are perfect. And you're mine." "Possessive much?" "When it comes to you?" "Absolutely." Later that night, as they returned to the penthouse, Adana found herself pressed against the elevator wall, Taehyun's mouth on hers, his hands everywhere. "I wanted to do this all night," he growled. "Then why didn't you?" "Because I would have scandalized half of Seoul." He nipped her bottom lip. "But now we're alone. Your staff knows better than to interrupt." The following morning, Adana woke to find Taehyun already dressed, speaking rapidly in Korean on his phone. Something was wrong. When he hung up, his expression was grim. "What is it?" she asked. "Business? What kind of business?" "The dangerous kind." Fear gripped her. "Will you be okay?" He crossed to the bed, cupping her face. "I'll be fine. But I need you to promise me something." "What?" "Stay here today. Don't go to work. Don't leave the building." "Why?" "Because I need to know you're safe while I handle this." "Taehyun, you're scaring me. I don't mean to. But there are people who want to hurt me, and the easiest way to do that is through you." He kissed her forehead. "Promise me." "I promise." "Good." He pulled away reluctantly. "I'll be back by tonight." But she saw the lie in his eyes. This was bigger than he was admitting. Adana tried to distract herself, but anxiety gnawed at her. She called her sister, Kyoma, for the first time in weeks. "Finally!" Kyoma exclaimed. "I've been worried sick. Where have you been?" "It's complicated." "Are you still with Marcus?" "No, I left him." "Thank God. That man was poison." "I know." "So where are you staying?" Adana hesitated. "With someone." "Someone? Who?" "His name is Taehyun." Silence. Then, "Wait, Choi Taehyun? The crime boss? How do you—" "Everyone knows who he is, Adana. He's dangerous. He's been nothing but good to me. That's what they all say before." "Kyoma, please. I need you to trust me." "I trust you. I don't trust him. He makes me feel safe. For now. But what happens when his world catches up to you?" Adana didn't have an answer, because deep down she was terrified of the same thing. Evening came and went. Taehyun didn't return. Adana tried calling him. No answer. She texted. Nothing. Panic set in. At midnight, the penthouse door finally opened. Taehyun walked in, blood on his shirt, exhaustion in his eyes. Adana flew to him. "Oh my God, are you hurt?" "It's not my blood." "Whose—" She stopped, realizing she didn't want to know. He cupped her face, his hands trembling slightly. "I'm sorry I worried you." "What happened?" "Rival syndicate tried to move on my territory. We handled it." "Handled it how?" "Adana, I need to know what I'm getting into." He studied her for a long moment. "We eliminated the threat. Permanently." Breath caught. "You killed them." "Yes." "How many?" "Does it matter?" "To me it does." 5. "We killed 5 men tonight." His jaw clenched. "And I'd do it again if it meant keeping you safe." She should have been horrified. Instead, she pulled him close. "Are you okay?" He let out a shaky breath. "I am. Now." That night, Adana washed the blood from Taehyun's skin, her hands gentle as she tended to the bruises on his knuckles. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "I want to." "Why?" "After what I told you." "Because I see past the violence. I see you." His eyes closed. "You shouldn't." "Too late." When she finished, he pulled her into his lap. "I don't deserve you," he murmured. "Maybe not. But you have me anyway." "For how long?" "As long as you want me. Then forever." He carried her to bed, holding her like she might disappear. And for the first time since the violence began, Adana wondered if love could truly survive in a world built on blood and power. The next few weeks brought a fragile peace. Taehyun's enemies stayed quiet. Adana's divorce was finalized. They fell into a routine that felt almost normal. But nothing stayed peaceful in Tae-hyun's world for long. One afternoon, while Adana was at the cafe, a man approached her table. "Adana Okafor?" he asked in accented English. "Yes." He sat down, uninvited. "My name is Park Jin-woo. I'm a detective." Her stomach dropped. "What do you want?" "Information about Choi Tae-hyun." "I don't know what you're talking about." "Please don't insult my intelligence. You're living with him. You're his lover. You know exactly who he is. I'm not discussing my personal life with you, even if it could save lives." She hesitated. "What do you mean?" "Tae-hyun is a criminal. He's responsible for countless deaths, countless crimes. Help me stop him." "No. He's using you. He's protecting me from dangers he created." Jin-woo leaned forward. "Listen to me carefully. You seem like a good person. Don't let him drag you into his darkness." "I'm not having this conversation." She stood to leave, but he caught her wrist. "When his world collapses, and it will, you'll go down with him. Is that what you want?" She jerked free. "Leave me alone. I can protect you. I can get you out." "I don't need protection from him. I need protection from people like you." She walked away, her heart pounding. But Jin-woo's words haunted her. That night, she told Tae-hyun about the detective. His expression turned lethal. "What did he want?" "Information about you. He wanted me to turn on you." "And what did you say?" "I told him to leave me alone." Tae-hyun pulled her close, his grip almost painful. "If he approaches you again, call me immediately. He's just doing his job. His job is trying to destroy me, and he'll use you to do it. I won't let him. You might not have a choice." He tilted her face up. "Promise me you'll be careful." "I promise." But she could see the fear in his eyes. For the first time, Tae-hyun was truly scared. Not for himself, for her. Detective Park Jin-woo didn't give up. He appeared again 2 days later, this time outside the penthouse building. "I warned you to stay away from me," Adana said coldly. "And I warned you about him. But you didn't listen. Because I trust him. Then you're a fool. Maybe. But I'd rather be a fool with him than safe without him." Jin-woo's expression softened. "He'll get you killed. Or he'll keep me alive. Either way, it's my choice." "Not if you don't have all the information." He handed her a folder. "What is this?" "Everything you need to know about the man you're sleeping with. Read it. Then decide if you still want to stay." He walked away before she could refuse. Adana stared at the folder in her hands. She should throw it away. But curiosity was a dangerous thing. That night, while Tae-hyun was in a meeting, Adana opened the folder. Inside were photographs, documents, reports, evidence of Tae-hyun's crimes spanning years, murders, extortion, drug trafficking, money laundering. Her hand shook as she read. This was the man she loved, a criminal, a killer. But as she looked at the photos, Tae-hyun's cold expression in surveillance shots, blood on his hands, bodies in his wake, she realized something. She already knew. She'd always known. And she'd chosen him anyway. Because beneath the violence, she'd seen his heart. The way he held her, protected her, loved her. That was the man she knew, not the monster in these photos. She closed the folder and threw it in the trash. When Tae-hyun returned, she was waiting for him. "A detective gave me a file on you," she said quietly. He went, rigid. "Did you read it?" "Yes." "And?" She crossed to him, cupping his face. "And I'm still here." His breath left in a rush. "Adana, I know who you are. I know what you've done. And I choose you anyway. You shouldn't. Stop telling me what I should do." She kissed him softly. "I love you, Tae-hyun. All of you. Even the parts you're ashamed of." He pulled her against him, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. "I don't deserve you," he whispered. "Probably not. But you're stuck with me. Forever. Forever." But Detective Park wasn't finished. When he realized Adana wouldn't cooperate, he changed tactics. He went after Tae-hyun directly. Raids, arrests, warrants. Tae-hyun's empire came under siege, and Adana found herself trapped in the crossfire. One night, as she left the cafe, a van pulled up. Men grabbed her before she could scream. A bag went over her head, and everything went dark. Wati, Adana woke. She was tied to a chair in an abandoned warehouse. Her head throbbed, her wrists burned. A man stepped into view. Not Detective Park, but someone else. Someone worse. "Adana Okafor," he said in perfect English. "You're a hard woman to get alone. Who are you?" "I'm the man who's going to destroy Choi Tae-hyun, and you're going to help me." "I'll never." He backhanded her across the face. Pain exploded through her skull. "You will," he said calmly, "or I'll make you wish you had." Back at the penthouse, Tae-hyun received a video. Adana tied to a chair, blood on her face, terror in her eyes, and a message: "Come alone, or she dies." Tae-hyun watched the video 3 times, his expression empty. Then he made a call. "Gather everyone," he said quietly. "We're going to war." His second-in-command hesitated. "Boss, if you go, I don't care what happens to me. Get her back. That's all that matters." "And if it's a trap? Then I'll burn them all down before they can spring it." He hung up and stared at the frozen image of Adana on the screen. "I'm coming," he whispered. "Hold on, love. I'm coming." The rescue was brutal. Tae-hyun didn't go alone despite the orders. He brought 30 men armed to the teeth. They hit the warehouse like a hurricane. Gunfire erupted. Men fell. Blood painted the concrete. Tae-hyun moved through the chaos like death itself, focused only on one thing: finding her. Adana heard the gunfire and knew. Tae-hyun had come for her. Her captor heard it too. "Stupid," he snarled. "He's going to get you both killed." He pressed a gun to her head. "When he comes through that door, you die first." Adana closed her eyes, praying. The door exploded inward. Tae-hyun stood in the doorway, gun raised, his expression murderous. "Let her go," he said quietly. "Or what?" "Or I'll make what I did to your men look merciful." The captor laughed. "You're outnumbered." "No, you are." Tae-hyun's men poured into the room. The captor realized his mistake too late. He tried to pull the trigger. Tae-hyun was faster. The shot echoed. The captor dropped, and Tae-hyun ran to Adana, cutting her free, pulling her into his arms. "I've got you," he breathed. "You're safe. I've got you." She collapsed against him, sobbing. "I knew you'd come. Always. I'll always come for you." The aftermath was messy. Detective Park tried to arrest Tae-hyun at the scene, but too many powerful people owed Tae-hyun favors. The charges didn't stick. Instead, Park was quietly reassigned, and Tae-hyun's enemies learned a valuable lesson. Don't touch what's his. Back at the penthouse, Adana sat in the bathtub while Tae-hyun gently cleaned her wounds. "I'm sorry," he said for the 100th time. "It wasn't your fault." "It was. They took you because of me, and you saved me because of you." She caught his hand. "I don't blame you, Tae-hyun. You should." "Well, I don't." She pulled him into the tub with her, clothes and all. He went willingly, wrapping her in his arms. "I almost lost you," he whispered, "but you didn't." "If I had." "You didn't." She kissed him softly. "I'm here, I'm safe, because of you. I love you, Adana, so much it terrifies me." "I love you too." "Then marry me." She pulled back, shocked. "What?" "Marry me. Be mine officially. Let me spend the rest of my life protecting you, loving you, worshipping you. Tae-hyun, I know it's fast. I know I'm asking too much. But I can't wait anymore. I need you to be mine in every way. Tears filled her eyes. Yes, yes, yes. I'll marry you. He kissed her like she was oxygen, and he was drowning. And Adana realized this. This love built on blood and danger and impossible devotion was exactly what she wanted. The wedding was small, intimate, perfect. Just them, a judge, and 2 witnesses. Tae-hyun wore a black suit. Adana wore white lace. When he slid the ring onto her finger, his hands trembled. You're mine now, he whispered. I was always yours. And I'm yours. Forever. They kissed as husband and wife, and Adana felt complete for the first time in her life. But married life in Tae-hyun's world was never simple. New threats emerged, old enemies resurfaced, and through it all, Tae-hyun protected her with a single-minded devotion that was both terrifying and beautiful. He moved her into a more secure location. He assigned bodyguards. He taught her self-defense. I can't always be there, he said one night. So, I need to know you can protect yourself. I don't want to think about you not being there. Neither do I. But I need to prepare for every possibility. She understood. This was love in his world. Fierce, protective, absolute. 6 months into their marriage, Adana realized something. She was late. Very late. Her hand shook as she took the pregnancy test. 2 lines appeared. She was pregnant. Terror and joy warred inside her. A baby. In this world. With this life. How could she bring a child into Tae-hyun's dangerous world? But when she told him that night, all her fears melted away. Because Tae-hyun dropped to his knees in front of her, pressed his face to her still flat stomach, and cried. Thank you, he whispered. Thank you for giving me everything. And Adana knew. Their love was strong enough, fierce enough, powerful enough to protect their family. The pregnancy changed everything. Tae-hyun became even more protective, if that was possible. He insisted Adana stop working at the cafe immediately. He hired a private doctor to monitor her health. He transformed one of the penthouse bedrooms into a nursery, personally overseeing every detail. You're being ridiculous, Adana said one afternoon, watching him debate paint colors with an interior designer. I'm being thorough. It's a nursery, not a fortress. He turned to face her, his expression serious. Everywhere my child exists becomes a fortress. She couldn't argue with that. By the end of her first trimester, Adana's belly had started to show. Tae-hyun was obsessed with it. He talked to the baby constantly. He read parenting books in 3 languages. He attended every doctor's appointment, holding her hand and asking 1,000 questions. You're going to be an amazing father, Adana said one night as they lay in bed, his hand resting on her stomach. I'm terrified I'll fail. Why? Because I don't know how to be soft, how to be gentle. He looked at her with vulnerable eyes. What if I'm too much like my father? Adana knew Tae-hyun's father had been brutal, a man who'd raised his son through violence and fear until Tae-hyun had finally killed him and taken control of the syndicate. You're nothing like him, she said firmly. How do you know? Because he never loved anyone the way you love me, the way you already love our baby. She placed her hand over his. You're going to be wonderful. He kissed her softly. I hope you're right. I'm always right. He laughed, a rare, beautiful sound. Yes, you are. But danger never stayed away for long. One evening, Tae-hyun came home with blood on his knuckles and rage in his eyes. What happened? Adana asked immediately. Someone put a price on your head. Her blood ran cold. What? A rival syndicate. They think killing you will destroy me. His jaw clenched. They're right. What are we going to do? We're not doing anything. I'm going to eliminate every single person involved. Tae-hyun, I won't let anyone threaten you or our child. He pulled her close. I'll burn down half of Seoul if I have to. She believed him, and she was terrified of what that meant. The following week, Tae-hyun barely slept. He spent his nights planning, strategizing, eliminating threats before they could materialize. Adana watched him spiral deeper into his darkness. You need to rest, she said one night, finding him in his office at 3 a.m. I can't. Not until you're safe. I am safe. You've tripled security. We have guards everywhere. It's not enough. Then what is? He looked at her with haunted eyes. Nothing. There's nothing that will ever feel like enough. She crossed to him, sitting in his lap. You can't protect me from everything. Watch me try. Tae-hyun. She cupped his face, forcing him to look at her. Our baby needs a father who's present, not one who's killed himself trying to control the uncontrollable. If something happens to you, it won't, because you're brilliant and dangerous, and you've built an empire on being 3 steps ahead of everyone. She kissed him softly. Trust yourself, and trust that we're going to be okay. He held her tightly. I love you so much, it hurts. I love you too. Now come to bed. For once, he listened. 2 weeks later, the threat was neutralized. Tae-hyun never told her the details. She didn't ask. Some things were better left unknown. But she noticed the tension leave his shoulders, saw him smile more, heard him laugh again. Her world stabilized. For a while. At 5 months pregnant, Adana convinced Tae-hyun to let her visit her sister. Chioma lived in Hongdae with her boyfriend, and Adana missed her desperately. I'll send guards with you, Tae-hyun said. I don't need... Not negotiable, she sighed. Fine, but they stay outside. Deal. When Adana arrived at Chioma's apartment, her sister took one look at her belly and burst into tears. You're really pregnant. Did you think I was lying? No, but seeing it. Chioma hugged her carefully. I'm going to be an aunt. You are. They spent the afternoon catching up, eating jollof rice that Chioma had attempted to make. It wasn't quite right, but Adana didn't have the heart to say so, and talking about everything except Tae-hyun's dangerous world. But eventually, Chioma asked, Are you happy? Yes. Truly? Truly. Adana smiled. I know his world is dangerous. I know people think I'm crazy for staying. But he loves me, Chioma. He loves me in a way Marcus never did. In a way I didn't think was possible. And that's enough? It's everything. Chioma studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Okay. If you're happy, I'm happy. Thank you. But if he ever hurts you, I'll kill him myself. Adana laughed. Deal. That evening, Tae-hyun picked her up personally. Did you have fun? He asked, opening the car door for her. I did. Thank you for letting me go. I don't control you, Adana. Could have fooled me, she teased. He smiled. I protect you. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. One comes from fear, the other from love. She kissed his cheek. Then I'm very loved. More than you know. At 6 months, they learned they were having a girl. Tae-hyun cried. A daughter, he whispered, staring at the ultrasound image. We're having a daughter. We are. I'm going to spoil her rotten. I know. And I'm going to terrify every boy who looks at her. Adana laughed. She's not even born yet, and you're already planning her teenage years? I'm planning everything. He pulled Adana close. I want her to have the childhood I never did. Safety. Love. Peace. She will, because she'll have you as a father. And you as a mother. He kissed her forehead. She's already so lucky. But peace never lasted in their world. One night, Adana woke to find Tae-hyun gone from bed. She found him standing at the window, tension radiating from every line of his body. "What's wrong?" she asked. "We have a problem." Her stomach dropped. "What kind of problem?" "The Yakuza are moving into Seoul. They want a meeting." "And?" "They're dangerous, unpredictable, and they've expressed interest in our operations." "What does that mean?" He turned to face her. "It means war is coming, and I need to decide whether to negotiate or strike first." "What do you want to do?" "Strike first. Always strike first." But you're pregnant, and if I start a war now, you become a target." His jaw clenched. "I won't risk you or our daughter." Adana crossed to him, taking his hands. "So negotiate." "I hate negotiating." "I know, but you're not just thinking about yourself anymore." "I never just thought about myself. Not since I met you." "Then do what's best for our family." He pulled her close. "You're right." "I usually am." He smiled despite himself. "Yes, you are." The meeting with the Yakuza was held at a neutral location, an upscale restaurant in Gangnam that Tae-hyun controlled. He refused to let Adana come, despite her protests. "Absolutely not," he said firmly. "I want to be there. And I want you safe." "Tae-hyun, please." He cupped her face. "Please don't fight me on this. I can't focus if you're in the room. I'll be too busy protecting you to negotiate properly." She sighed. "Fine, but you call me the moment it's over." "I promise." He kissed her thoroughly before leaving. Adana spent the next 3 hours pacing, worrying, imagining every possible disaster. When her phone finally rang, she lunged for it. "Are you okay?" she asked immediately. "I'm fine. The meeting went well." "Define well." "We reached an agreement. Seoul stays divided. They get the East. We keep the West." "That's it? No violence?" "Not today." Paused. "I'm coming home. I need to see you." "I'm not going anywhere." When Tae-hyun arrived, he looked exhausted but relieved. Adana met him at the door, and he immediately pulled her into his arms. "Thank God that's over," he muttered. "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "For choosing negotiation over violence. Don't give me too much credit. I'm still planning contingencies in case they betray the agreement." "Of course you are." She led him to the couch. "Sit. I'll make you tea." "I don't need tea." "You're getting tea anyway." He smiled. "Bossy." "You love it." "I do." At 7 months, Adana's back ached constantly, and her feet were so swollen she could only wear slippers. Tae-hyun massaged her feet every night without complaint. "You don't have to do this," she said. "I want to." "You have an empire to run." "And you're carrying my child. This is more important." She melted. "Have I mentioned I love you?" "Not in the last hour." "I love you." He kissed her ankle. "I love you too." They spent that month preparing for the baby's arrival. Tae-hyun baby-proofed the entire penthouse, even though their daughter wouldn't be mobile for months. "You're insane," Adana said, watching him install outlet covers. "I'm thorough. She's not even born yet." "Preparation is key." Adana shook her head, smiling. This man, this dangerous, powerful, ruthless man, was going to be the most overprotective father in history, and she loved him for it. At 8 months, Adana went into false labor. Tae-hyun nearly had a heart attack. "Hospital," he said urgently, already grabbing her bag. "It's just Braxton Hicks." "I don't care. We're going." They spent 4 hours in the emergency room before the doctor confirmed it was indeed false labor. "Everything is fine," the doctor assured them. "The baby is healthy. Mrs. Choi just needs rest." Tae-hyun nodded, his face pale. On the drive home, Adana took his hand. "You okay?" "I thought—" He swallowed hard. "I thought I was losing you both." "We're fine. Strong, healthy. I know. Intellectually, I know. But for a moment, he brought her hand to his lips. I can't lose you, Adana. I can't. You won't. Promise me. I promise. She meant it with everything she had. The final month crawled by. Adana was huge, uncomfortable, and desperate to meet their daughter. Tae-hyun was attentive to the point of suffocation. I'm fine, she said for the 1000th time. You're 9 months pregnant. You're not fine. I'm pregnant, not dying. You're carrying my entire world in your body. Excuse me for being concerned. She softened. I know. I appreciate it. But you need to breathe. I'll breathe when she's born, and you're both healthy. Stubborn. Look who's talking. They smiled at each other, and in that moment, everything felt perfect. Adana went into labor at 2 in the morning, 3 days before her due date. Tae-hyun woke to her gripping his arm, her face contorted with pain. It's time, she gasped. He was out of bed instantly, moving with military precision. Okay. I've got you. Bag is packed. Car is ready. Let's go. The drive to the hospital felt like it took hours, though it was only 15 minutes. Tae-hyun held her hand the entire time, his face pale but determined. You're doing amazing, he said. I'm not doing anything yet. You're about to give birth. You're a warrior. She laughed despite the pain. Flattery won't make this hurt less. Worth a try. Labor lasted 12 hours. 12 brutal, painful, terrifying hours. Tae-hyun stayed by her side through all of it, letting her squeeze his hand until his bones creaked, whispering encouragement, refusing to leave even when the nurses suggested he step out. I'm not going anywhere, he said, firmly. And he didn't. When their daughter finally arrived, screaming, perfect, beautiful, Tae-hyun cried openly. She's perfect, he whispered, staring at the tiny bundle the nurse placed in his arms. She's absolutely perfect. Adana watched through exhausted tears as this dangerous man held their daughter like she was made of glass. What should we name her? She asked softly. Tae-hyun looked at her, love shining in his eyes. You choose. No. Together. They debated for an hour before settling on Zuri, meaning beautiful in Swahili, with the middle name Misun, meaning beautiful kindness in Korean. Zuri Misun Choi, Tae-hyun said softly. Our beautiful miracle. Adana smiled. Perfect. The first week home was chaotic. Neither of them slept more than 2 hours at a time. Tae-hyun changed diapers with surprising competence. Adana breastfed until her body ached. They were exhausted, overwhelmed, and deliriously happy. I love her so much, Tae-hyun said one night, holding Zuri while she slept. So do I. I never knew I could love like this. Neither did I. He looked at Adana. Thank you. For what? For giving me a family, for loving me when I didn't deserve it, for making me believe I could be more than the monster I was raised to be. Tears filled her eyes. You were never a monster. Yes, I was. But you saw past it. He kissed Zuri's head. And now I get to raise her to be everything I wasn't. Kind, gentle, loved. She'll be all of that and more. Because of you. Because of us. As the weeks passed, Tae-hyun proved to be an incredible father. He was up every night for feedings. He sang Korean lullabies in his deep voice. He built a swing set in the penthouse, even though Zuri wouldn't use it for years. Adana fell more in love with him every day. This was the man she'd chosen. The man who'd chosen her. And together, they'd built something beautiful. When Zuri was 3 months old, Tae-hyun proposed something unexpected. I want to retire, he said one evening. Adana looked up from feeding Zuri. What? From the syndicate? I want out. Is that even possible? I'm making it possible. He sat beside her. I've spent my entire life in violence. I don't want that for her. I don't want her to grow up afraid. What will you do? I have legitimate businesses, investments. I'll focus on those. He touched Zuri's tiny hand. I want to be present. I want to watch her grow up. I want to take her to school and teach her to ride a bike and walk her down the aisle someday. Adana's eyes filled with tears. You're serious? Completely? And your men? I'm promoting my second in command. He's capable. Loyal. He'll take care of things. This is really happening. If you want it to. I want it, she said immediately. I want you safe. I want our family safe. I kissed her softly. Then it's done. The transition took 6 months. 6 months of careful planning, strategic promotions, and delicate negotiations. But by Zuri's first birthday, Choi Tae-hyun was officially retired from the criminal world. They celebrated with a small party, just family and close friends. Kyoma came, bringing gifts and tears. Tae-hyun's most trusted men came, showing respect for the man who'd led them for years. And Zuri, oblivious to the significance of the day, smashed cake into her face and laughed. This is perfect, Adana said, watching Tae-hyun clean frosting off their daughter's nose. It is, he agreed. Are you happy? He looked at her, his wife, his love, his everything, and smiled. I'm more than happy. I'm home. A year later, they bought a house outside Seoul, something with a yard and neighbors and normalcy. Tae-hyun still maintained security. Old habits died hard, but their life was remarkably peaceful. He consulted for his legitimate businesses from a home office. Adana started an online jewelry business, creating pieces inspired by both her Nigerian heritage and her Korean home. Zuri grew into a curious, fearless toddler who had her father wrapped around her tiny finger. They were happy, truly, completely happy. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching Zuri chase fireflies in the yard, Adana said, "Do you ever miss it?" "Miss what?" "The power, the danger, the life you had before." Tae-hyun was quiet for a moment. "Sometimes. But then I look at her." He nodded toward Zuri. "And I look at you. And I remember what I was without you both." "What were you?" "Empty." He pulled her close. "You filled me, Adana. You made me whole. You did the same for me. Then we're even." She laughed. "I don't think love works that way." "How does it work?" "Like this. Messy. Imperfect. Beautiful." He kissed her softly. "I'll take it." "Good. Because you're stuck with me." "Forever?" "Forever." When Zuri was 3, Adana got pregnant again. This time it was a boy. They named him Chinyonso, meaning God is near in Igbo, with the middle name Jaesung, meaning star that becomes in Korean. Tae-hyun cried again when his son was born. "I'm building a dynasty," he joked, holding his son while Zuri demanded to see her baby brother. "2 kids is not a dynasty," Adana said, exhausted but smiling. "Give me time." "Absolutely not. 2 is plenty," he grinned. "We'll see." Life continued in its beautiful chaos. Tae-hyun proved to be a devoted father to both children. Adana's business flourished. They traveled, first just to Busan, then to Nigeria, so the children could meet their extended family, then to Paris, because they wanted to see the world together. They were building a life. Not perfect, but theirs. On their 5th wedding anniversary, Tae-hyun took Adana back to the park where they'd first walked together. "Remember this place?" he asked. "Of course. This is where everything changed. For both of us." He pulled out a small box. "Tae-hyun, you already gave me a ring. This is different." Inside was a necklace, a beautiful piece with charms representing their family. An A for Adana, a